Full Google Analytics for Beginners 2023, set up Google Analytics and more. Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you all are doing great and are having an amazing day. I bring you back with yet another great and helpful tutorial. We're going to talk about all the features that Google Analytics brings you, and I'm also going to give you its different alternatives. Without further ado, let's get straight into it. Just watch this video till the end to obviously take in the whole information that I have to provide you. So, to get started, we're going to go ahead and write Google Analytics. Now, when we write Google Analytics, we will land here where it says Google Analytics is a web analysis service offered by Google that tracks and reports website traffic. And yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. Even if you see over here, what are Google Analytics used for? Google Analytics is a platform that collects data from your websites and apps to create reports that provide insights into your business. So that is definitely what we're going to be doing. So we're going to come right here where it says Google Analytics. We're going to get right into it. And over here, it loads us up over here. Welcome to Google Analytics. Google Analytics gives you the free tools you need to analyze data for your business in one place so you can make smarter decisions. And over here, obviously, you can see all the features like complete information, understand your site and app users to better check the performance of your marketing, content, products, and more. Get insights only Google can give. Access Google's unique insights and machine learning capabilities to make the most of your data. Connect your insights to results. Analytics works with Google's advertising and publisher products so you can use your insights to deliver business results. So yeah, we're going to be doing all of that. So to start that, we're going to click on Start Measuring. And obviously, first of all, you're going to set up your Gmail account that you want to sign up with. So I'm signed in with mine right now. And over here, it says account setup. So we're going to set up our account with this email. And here it says account details, account name required. Account can contain more than one tracking ID. So you can name your account anything. I'm going to name it my name. So we're going to name it that. Here it says account data sharing settings. Data you collect, process, and store using Google Analytics is basically secure and kept confidential. This data is used to maintain and protect the Google Analytics service to perform system critical operations and, in rare exceptions, for legal reasons as described in their privacy policy. So the data sharing option gives us more control over sharing our Google Analytics data. So obviously you can just check this. You can read all of these things if you want, like Google products and service. If you have enabled Google Signals, this setting will also apply to authenticated visitation data, which is associated with our user's account, and much, much more. Then there's the benchmarking, which contributes to anonymous data to an aggregate data set to enable features like benchmarking and publications that can help us understand data trends. There's technical support, obviously, if we need any help. And then there's different account specialists to help us. So once we've done that, we're going to click on next where it says property setup. A property represents a business's web and or app data. An account can contain one or more properties. And basically here it says create a Google Analytics 4 property to measure your web and or app data. So let's just give it any random name like chronics.co. Now, once you've set up your name over here, obviously you're going to add your reporting time zone. And once you've added your reporting time zone, you're going to add your currency that obviously your marketing or business is going to be in. And once you've done that, you can also check the advanced options if you want to, which is basically creating a universal analytics property. What this does is it's part of an earlier version of Google Analytics and only supports web measurements. It is not recommended for new analytical users, and it will not support app measurement. Turn this on if you would like to create a universal analytics property. This totally depends on you. Like if you have done work with analytics, you can turn this on if you want to. I just don't recommend it. So once you've done that, we're going to click on next. And here you're going to add in your business information. Help us tailor your experience by answering the following questions. So industry category, you can choose yours. So as we just saw, I entered electronics, so I'm going to put up that. Our business size, you can choose any business size from these. So it could be small, medium, large, or very large. I'm going to keep in medium for now. And how do you intend to use Google Analytics with your business? Check all that apply. So measure customer engagement with my site or app. You can do that, and I think you should check it because basically Analytics does help you check all these things, and especially customer engagement. Here it says optimize my site or app experience. You can choose that. Measure data across multiple devices. Optimize my advertising cost. Increase my conversions. Measure content monetization. Analyze my online sales. Measure app installs. Measure lead generation. And you can also choose others. So basically, it's a jack of all trades. You can analyze, measure different things and aspects of your website, and you can also optimize and analyze your AdSense or maybe your monetization or the money you get. And once you've done that, you're going to click on create, and over here it says Google Analytics Terms of Services Agreement. You're going to choose obviously your country. You're going to read all the terms and service if you want to, accept the terms and service, read the measurement, controller data, protection terms. And once you've read those, you're going to just choose I accept. And once you click on that, here it says account and property created. Here it says my email communications. We occasionally send emails, blah, blah, blah. You can check all that if you want to. And I'm just going to click on uncheck and all save. I don't want unnecessary emails to myself. So here it says take a tour of Google Analytics 4. The homepage provides an at-a-glance view to your most important metrics, insights, and setup tips. Each time you sign in, Analytics will surface personalized content from across all reports. And here we can see navigate to reports. Use the side panel to navigate to different reports. So basically, here you can check your different reports. Then there's the report snapshot. See an overview of important information about your users and their engagement with your website and or app. For more detailed reports, click the link at the bottom of the cards. Basically, these links over here, these view countries or maybe view retention if you want to see more analytics, so you can choose these. Then there is in the report section, different reports will help you learn about your business. Start with one of the several lifecycle reports that highlight key information about your users' behavior on your website and or app. These answer questions such as how active are your users over time. So you can check all that over here. Then in explorations, you can gain a deeper understanding of your data with a series of advanced techniques like funnels, cohorts, and more. Share your findings and create audiences directly from your results. And there's advertising, where you use attribution reports to better understand paths to conversion and channel performances. There's the admin tool, which you can use to review and edit your user property and account settings. Property editors can manage user permissions, configure data, retention, and sharing settings, and edit product links such as Google Ads and Firebase. And then finally, you can use their search bar if you're having difficulty in finding something. So yeah, that's about it. That's the basic overview of how everything works. So this is basically your basic dashboard for your Google Analytics app or your Google Analytics desktop site. So yeah, this is basically up. So we can see that they can't find any data streams. Please set up a stream to start collecting data in this property. So obviously, first of all, you're gonna have to set up a data stream. What is a data stream? Data stream is the place where Google Analytics is gonna take your analytics from. So it could be some website of yours, it could be an Android app, it could be an iOS app or something like that. But obviously you're gonna have to integrate or automate some type of a data stream so your Google Analytics can take information from there. Now, before getting into the nitty-gritty, let's discuss the admin settings. So first of all, in the admin settings, we can see that this is the property section, and over here we can create ourselves a new property. So a new property is basically a property which represents a business's web or app data. An account can contain one or more properties. Basically, if you want to add more data streams, you're going to have to create more properties just to obviously make things easier for yourself. So yeah, that's how you add properties and more data streams in one account. And then obviously you can change your account settings if you want to, totally upon you. Then comes your account access management, where you can give yourself different accesses. Here is your setup assistant, which helps you fully set up your account. So here's obviously your data collection, collect website and app data. So for that, you're going to have to add yourself a data stream. Then there's the property settings where you can turn on Google signals, access aggregated data from people with Google accounts who allow ads personalizations. You can set up conversions, identify the key user interactions most important to your business. You can define audiences, find, group, and remarket to your most engaged visitors, manage users, add users, user groups, and permissions. And then there's obviously your Google Ads, where you can link to Google Ads, and that basically just helps you make money, bid on Google Analytics for conversions, and target ads to Google Analytics for audiences. Then there comes your property settings, where you can change the settings for your current properties. There's a property access management, again, to give yourself access. There's a data stream where you can add a different data stream for yourself. Like if you go on web and you're going to add your website, once you've added your website, you're going to click on create stream, and that will automatically take your website. Now, if your website is yours, like if you have an SSL certificate or something like that for it, then obviously you're going to get it automatically. But of course, you're going to have to verify that it actually is your website. You can't just take a random website for data stream. Then if you go in events, you can see that you can now create and manage custom dimensions and metrics in custom definitions. So basically, we can create and modify different events, integrate the SDK, and within 24 hours, you'll see your first event reports here. Then if you go in conversions, these are basically conversion events where you can convert your reports if you want to. These are your audiences, where you can basically add users or more audiences and make different categories of audiences. Basically, it could be all users, and let's say you have 100 users, and from those 100 users, you have 10 people who are purchasers. So yeah, you can add those purchasers in these audiences. Then there's the custom definitions or the custom dimensions. And you can create different property parameters with these custom dimensions, and it's totally for your metrics or scope. Then there's your data settings, where comes your data collection, retention, and data filters. Then there's importing data, where you can basically import different data sources, or you can just totally create a new one if you want to. There's the report section, where you can report different identities. There's the attribution settings, property change history, and these things which aren't really relevant. Then here comes the Google Ads link. Now, Google Ads is basically AdSense, which helps you make money off of ads on Google. So this is also a good way to make money off of your GA4 or Google Analytics 4. There's the ad manager links. If you maybe have ads on Google Ads, you can put that in. There's the BigQuery links, display and video 360 links, merchant center, optimized links, Google Play links, and much, much more. These are all optimizations. Obviously, you can optimize them if you want to, or just create links for them. But yeah, that's basically about it when it comes to the settings. Then obviously here's the trash can. If you want to totally dump your Google Analytics, you can just dump it over here. So yeah, that's basically about it when it comes to the admin settings. Then there's obviously the user settings, where you can edit your own user account if you want to. This doesn't really matter, so I'm going to recommend you just stay out of that. So now that we're back to the dashboard, let's give you a small overview of what is Google Analytics. Google Analytics is perhaps obviously the best known web analytics product, and as a free product, it has massive adoption. Although it lacks some enterprise level features compared to its competitors in the space, the launch of the paid Google Analytics Premium Edition does really have all these great things. So yeah, it's second to none, and I just recommend that you do use this, because first of all, the free version is amazing, but if you are a person who demands more, you can always go with the main function or feature which comes in the premium. And even if we were to, obviously, if like you go on a new tab and search different maybe websites and go on different forums or review pages to see how they rate Google Analytics, you'll see that most people rate it like way above 8.5 and 9 out of 10. Mostly it's 10 out of 10, and they say that Google Analytics helps them make decisions about what marketing campaigns are working for on their websites, like organic or paid apps. So basically, if we were to get into the nitty gritties and the different product details, we can see that the different integrations that it provides you are things like Hootsuite, MailChimp, Pardo, Mediafly, Searchmetrics, Suite, AB Tasty, Covio Qubit, and much, much more. Many different integrations that allow you to obviously connect all these apps that you have, like MailChimp. Obviously in MailChimp you have your business emails and stuff, and if you want to analyze your audience on that, you can integrate it with this, and that will obviously help you have a better overview of how things are. And obviously if we were to talk about the competitors of Google Analytics 4, we can see that their competitors are people like Adobe Analytics, Content Square, IBM Digital Analytics, Kissmetrics, Parse.li, StatCounter, Woopra, Go Scared, Matamo Analytics, and a few more. But obviously, in my opinion, like, these all are paid platforms, but Google Analytics, as you can clearly see in front of you, is totally free and it works like a charm. So if we were to talk about all the features that Google Analytics has, so first of all, as we talked, here is the reports page. Now in the reports page, our main job is taken out, because over here we have an overview of all the basic income or revenue we're making, or the users we're getting, or the countries that users are coming from, and where are new users actually come from, what are our top campaigns, what are the top reports, and etc. You can see all of that over here down in these graphs. What are your top conversions? What are your top events? You can see much more. And if you want to go in great detail, you can just click on these, like view in real time, view countries, view traffic, and this just gives you the great details about things. This is basically, you can create comparisons between 2 or 3 or 4 or how many ever graphs you like. You can share these reports with someone if you want to. Here's your insight column, where you can ask Analytics Intelligence some question like basic performance, how many users did I have last week, and stuff like that. You can ask it that, and it gives you a short summary, maybe the customers you had. You can also set a date to analyze your reports. Like if you want a report for the past year, you can just set it through the calendar, and obviously it's going to create a report for the whole year. And then you can also customize your report by maybe adding things, like you can add different cards, you can remove cards if you want to. You can add cards by going and add cards, and over here you have all these different cards like life cycle, user cards, user by city, user by device category, user by platforms, life cycle cards. You have other cards like the lifetime value, conversions, and there's a lot more. So you can choose them, you can add them over here, or you can remove any of these cards. Like let's say I don't want the conversions by event name, and I don't want these. And if we go down, we can see that it's totally, let's remove this and this as well. Now if we remove that and we click on save, we're going to click on save changes to current report. If you do that, it's going to load up, and once it's done loading, we can see, look at that, it's deleted the cards that we wanted. And if you were to add cards, let's just go over here, and if we choose these, I'm going to click on these, I'm going to click on add cards. Once I've done that, I'm going to click on save changes to current report, and once it's saved those changes, what's going to happen is we're going to see those cards. Look at that, they're added over there. So how cool is that? You can basically just create your own cards and widgets on your report. So a few other features that come with the reports page is that these are just little report snapshots. You can also get real-time reports if you want to. What does real-time report mean? Let me give you a good example. So if I were to write real-time population, like if I were to write that, here we go. Here's a worldometer. So what it does is it gives you real-time world statistics. So look at that. World population, we can see this is the current world population, and this meter is real time. We can see all these things are real time. Birds this year, this many things are happening, these many birds, and these are real time birds. This is happening as we speak. This is what real time meter actually is. So that's what they mean by real time. Real time is what happens in front of you, like right there, right now, and it happens in the real time. So it also helps you do that. Like, for example, you're sitting here and maybe there's like high traffic on your data stream and you want to check out the traffic so you can maybe work around it or make it better for your workers or maybe for yourself, make it easier for yourself. So to check those, you can come on real time and you can actually see the amount of traffic that you're getting, where you're getting it from, and what kind of obviously user response you're getting, conversions by event name, and much more. You can also see in real time where are people accessing your data from, and much more. Like, they have a whole map telling you where the data is getting accessed from. So how cool is that? That's like an amazing feature. Then obviously if we go in lifecycle, we have the accusations tab, where if we go on accusation or acquisition overview, we get the whole acquisition overview. Now, if you don't know what acquisition is, acquisitions are basically all these sessions and lifetime values of your different data streams. And it's also like an asset or an object that you have bought or obtained. So yeah, it's basically an overview about your data stream, which is like an asset that you have. You can again get different overviews for this. Like, you can view this in real time if you want to. They have different graphs, different charts, and different ways of numbering and showing you how things actually work. Then there's the user acquisition, which comes as the user stream. This isn't too big of a chart, but you can again optimize this by just going on customize report, and that just makes it much better. You can also add different filters to your report to like make it easier for yourself to view these and to obviously access these. And then obviously finally there's traffic acquisition, which is the different traffic you receive on the end of your streams or the end of your basically asset streams, and much more. Then if we go in engagement, this is the engagement overview, and in engagement we can see that we have different let's say engagements that like how people are engaging to maybe our data or maybe our asset streams, and much more. And it's just the user engagement that we can see, and this just helps us to see how our products are actually working, how they're doing, how much they're being engaged with, and much more. And there's the events tab. In the events tab, we can see the event count by event name over time. Then obviously we can see event name, event count, total users, event count per users, and the total revenue they have made off of it. Then there's conversions. In the conversions tab, you can see the conversions by event name and the total users and event revenue that you have gotten off those conversions. And there's different pages and screens, like the views we get on our page title and screen class over. Maybe let's say we have a website, we can see how much our pages and screens get views over time. And we can see views per user, average engagement time, event count, conversions, and obviously according to this, we will make some revenue if we have our Google AdSense or Google Ad account connected. Then obviously there's our landing page. We can see how much views we get on our landing page. Now, this landing page feature is pretty good for people who are maybe into, let's say, drop shipping or link farming. Basically, link farming is when they share a link just to, if some user clicks on it and goes to the link, they're going to make like a few cents off of it. So yeah, that's a landing page, and you can use a landing page Google Analytic for that, just to see how many users click on it and how many don't click on it. So like Google Analytics also shows like how many users were visibly viewing your link but they didn't click on it. So by that you can know like if your link is trustworthy and if your link is actually a link that people will access. So that's also a good way to know if your link is good and if the business you're doing is actually going to go up or not. And then there's obviously our monetization. Now, monetization is obviously purely the money that we're making off our analytics, assets, and data streams when it comes to all these different things in marketing and business. We can see that we also have the total purchasers list and the first time purchasers list. Like if you have first time users, you can see how many people purchased maybe your products on, let's say, if you have an online store or an e-commerce store or maybe a drop shipping store, you can see your first time purchasers, total purchasers. Then there's the item purchased by item name, items purchased by item list name. Then there's the items viewed by items promotion name, e-commerce revenue by ordered coupon, product revenue by product ID, publisher impressions by ad unit. And there's the e-commerce purchases. Like this tab is purely for your e-commerce purchase tab. And obviously your e-commerce purchase tab is your tab where like it's pretty obvious by the name, but here all the items that you have on your e-commerce store, they're going to be showed, like how much items were viewed over time, how many items were added to the cart and left there, and how many were actually bought. Then there's the in-app purchases, like if you have connected an app, this shows it for the app. If you don't have an app, this will always be 0 and blank, obviously. And then there's the publisher ads that maybe you're like, again, doing some affiliation or drop shipping. This is for that. And then there is the final tab when it comes to reports, and that is your retention. And again, it's your retention overview, where we have user retention by cohort, user engagement by cohort, user retention, I think this is per month, this is user engagement per month, and this is the lifetime value, and I think this is per 2 months. So yeah, that's a basic overview. And again, you can add comparisons between different graphs when it comes to the whole life cycle in our report section. And obviously there's the user features like demographics, tech, and much more, but I'd rather not get into that because it's totally a user feature place and I don't think you would use it a lot. So now that we've discussed that, now let's discuss this tab over here, which is Explore. So in the Explore tab, we can see that we have 4 different forms. There's the blank form where you can create a new exploration for yourself. There's the free form, which is basically what insights can you uncover with custom charts and tables. There's the funnel exploration, basically is what user journeys can you analyze, segment, and break down with multi-step funnels. And then there is the path exploration, what user journeys can you uncover with tree graphs. So we're going to be going through all 4 of these, but do remember that if you go in template gallery, they have like tons of templates over here, so do not worry. It all depends on your industry. If like your industry is e-commerce, you have e-commerce. If your industry is gaming, you have that. If you have different use cases like acquisitions, conversions, user behavior, you have that. But obviously then there's different techniques. So let's open a blank, let's open a free form, and let's open an e-commerce form. So once we've done that, what's gonna happen is, oh wait, let me just open it again. There's the free form. Let me open that. There we go. So this is the free form, and obviously here you're gonna start making your different datas. So first of all, let's create our basic segment comparison, and for that what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop and drag different dimensions. For that, we're going to create segments, like let's create a custom segment, which could be a user segment, a session segment, or an event segment. I'm going to create a user segment. You can add a condition by your events, like let's say App Store subscription cancel, and you can add more conditions, like if the App Store condition is canceled and the age is less. You can add different parameters if you want to, custom or other, like cancellation reason. You can ask the reason from the user, and you can add filter is not one-off, and it could be like at a certain age. Once you do that, at any point in time, apply. And once you've done that, you can add conditional group, add sequences, add group to exclude. And once you've done that, you can click on build an audience, And once all of that is done, click on save and apply. And there we go. You have made your first segment. You can add more segments if you want to. Then obviously you can start creating rows, columns, values. And once all of that is done, all you're going to need to do is you're going to save your info, or you're going to export your data. It could be in CSV, PDF, or whatever. And once you click on download PDF, your data is going to be properly downloaded. But obviously this was a blank template, and when you're getting started with Google Analytics 4, you're not going to properly know how to use it. Like, even if you go over here, you can see it's just a blank table. So it's not going to know how to obviously use it properly. So what we're going to do is we're going to use ourselves a good old template. So for now, let's go with the e-commerce template to like totally explain to you what really goes on. So let's go with how are your e-commerce platforms acting. So over here we says no data for this combination of segments, values, filters, and date range. Try editing the variables or settings or remove them. So obviously over here we can see we have different segments like US, direct traffic, paid traffic, mobile traffic, tablet traffic. Then in dimensions we have event name, gender, country, device category, first user mediums, and in metrics we have active users, event count, transactions, and much more. Now you can change the visualization, like it could be a donut chart, it could be a line chart, it could be a geo map, if you will. So for that, what we're gonna do is let's drop different segments. Like let's create that, let's make paid traffic, mobile traffic. And yeah, those are 4 different segregations. You can make a different breakdown if you want to. Like, let's say I want to keep that as, like I'm going to take source out. And once I've taken the source out, I'm going to let's add device category. And then obviously you can add different values for the users. You can add a different filter. You can select match types, enter your expression, and once you've done that, you're just going to click on apply, and obviously according to that your data is going to be displayed over here. So I'm going to show you what it actually will look like. So if we go back in template gallery, let's go with one of these random ones. Let's go with a free form. So you're obviously going to add your data, and let's say I'm going to change it from freeform to cohort exploration. There we go. You can see that we have data in this form. When it comes to tables, then you can also go in funnel exploration. Now, obviously, it depends on the type of data. Like if you have data in like a form of the cohort exploration, you're going to see it in cohort exploration. But if you go in a cohort exploration and choose any other data type, then you're not going to see it like that, because obviously that's not how things work. So yeah, this is how the data is going to be visible to you, and this is how you're going to see it. And obviously then you can just add different numbers to these data, and once you've done that, you're just going to click on export data, and there you go. There you have your data table for your Google Analytics 4. And then obviously you can send it around to people if you want to. That's totally upon you. You can download it, and let me show you. You can download it in a TSV, a CSV Excel sheet, or even a PDF. So it all depends on you and how you want to work around with things. Then there comes the advertising tab. Now let's talk about this. Now this is your advertising tab, and over here is basically where you're gonna see your advertising snapshots. So basically you can see that which channels drive the most conversions of yours. You can see the conversions by default channel group, your insights, and you can also see what touch points do customers take to convert. You can see all these different things over here. You can view all these channels, view all the insights, and more if you want to. You can view your conversion paths and much more. You can create different insights if you want to. And obviously you can see all the different channels when it comes to your advertising snapshots. Over here you have all channels, conversions by default channel group over time, conversions by default channel group, conversions, ads cost, cost per conversion, total revenue, return on ad spend, and much more. Then if you go in attribution, we have our model comparison. And in the model comparison, we have the default channel group, the attribute model with cross-channel last click model, attribute model with cross-channel data-driven model, and obviously there's conversions and revenue. Now if you go in conversions paths, We can see in the conversion paths, we have conversions by default channel group using cross-channel data-driven models. Early touch points, mid touch points, and late touch points can be showed through data over here with conversions, purchasing revenue, days to conversion, and touch points to conversion. Then if you go in the configure tab, we can see configure settings have moved to admin. Now if you go to admin, we can basically configure, as I told you, we can configure all our different settings and all the different overviews and tables and widgets that come with our Google Analytics. So yeah, that's the basic overview of Google Analytics and how you basically work around with it. And obviously, as I told you, to get yourself totally started, you're going to have to add a website or app to start collecting data, or basically, in easier words, you're going to need to have to add a data stream, because without adding a data stream, there won't be a place where they're going to take data off of. Like, you're going to have to add maybe a website or something so they can, work around when start their analytical work, basically. So the bottom line is, obviously due to its brand recognition and the fact that it's free, Google Analytics is the biggest name in website and mobile app intelligence. It has a steep learning curve, but it is an awesome business intelligence tool, as I have stated. Now, if you were to compare its prices with other brands, like other companies like Adobe Analytics and stuff like that, you're going to see that not only it's free, even its premium version is much less than the analytics on other platforms and applications. And if we were to discuss the pros about our analytic platform for Google, we can see it's exceptional platform for website and mobile app analytics, and we can see it's a totally user-friendly interface and it works amazing. The cons only to this are that the customer support has way too much automation. It does focus on marketing and advertising a lot, and it can be frustrating to some users, depends on the user, and it relies mostly on third parties for your training, basically. So if you want guides, you have to watch videos like mine. And we can see that the Google Analytics it's probably the most recognizable self-service business intelligence platform in the market. And as we saw, it's free to use and highly popular. And in fact, it's so popular that other business intelligence apps, including the, let's say, Editor's Choice winners like Microsoft Power Business Intelligence, offer connections to this platform. So in an age where companies survive off of click-throughs and other metrics, Google Analytics has become something of a household name in the BI space. Still though, you will want to think ahead before simply deploying Google Analytics in your organization. While eConsultancy.com's research found that over 70% of companies now use Google Analytics systems to report online performance, they also noted that frequently, once the tool is in place, there seems to be a what next moment on it. So the lost feeling isn't surprising, considering Google doesn't offer nearly like the same level of customer reports or support as most of the smaller players that I have reviewed. Deploying Google Analytics leaves training mostly in your hands, which is justifiable considering it's a freemium tool. But while there are plenty of tutorials available on websites such as LinkedIn or YouTube, you should keep training in mind during deployment and preview these before relying on them for your employees. And next to its support issues, Google Analytics also doesn't ingest as many data sources as do the Editor's Choice winners like IBM Watson Analytics, Microsoft Power BI, and Tableau desktops. However, that shortfall can be remedied by stepping up to Google Analytics 360 and Google BigQuery, which is Google's big data storage and querying tool. However, both of these have a slightly different concentration than freemium Google Analytics, which is laser focused on mobile and web analytics. The similar products are IBM Watson Analytics, Microsoft Power BI, Tableau Desktop, Charito, Domo, Click, Sense Enterprise Server, Zoho Analytics, and much, much more. We can see that the Google Analytics 4 has also had its different versions, like the Google Analytics 360, which is the enterprise version of Google Analytics, but I haven't tested that version of this part. I didn't test it primarily because the main difference between the freemium and the premium, at this time is basically the amount of data that you can access. Google Analytics allows a maximum of 50,000 rows of exported data and 10 million hits per month. Hits are defined as page views, events, e-commerce transactions, and social actions on a website or mobile app. Meanwhile, Google Analytics 360 allows up to 3 million rows of exported data and over 5 million hits per month. Data refreshes differ too. For Google Analytics, the data can be refreshed every 24 hours or longer, whereas the premium version allows for more frequent refreshes at 4 hours or less. Most companies will find the freemium version suffices. However, if you're looking to scale to enormous data volumes, then the enterprise tag may be worth it. But know that it is a pricey option when it comes to all these different acquisitions and overviews. Rumored to start at the same price as its predecessor, Google Analytics Premium, which is about $150,000 per year, according to Quora discussions. Rumor is that at this point, as Google hasn't published official pricing for Analytics 360 yet, based on the response I received from Google's press team when I asked for enterprise pricing, if you want a true price, then you'll have to contact Google for a quote, basically. So if we were to give an overall, it's a superior return on investment measurement tool for determining who your audience is for a website or mobile app, what path they took to arrive at your website, their behavior while they were on your website or using your app, and whether they bought something or abandoned the shopping cart. This is highly useful information for e-commerce and content marketers alike, as it helps fine-tune and refine efforts to reap higher web traffic numbers and revenue. Because of this laser-like focus, Google Analytics is often categorized as both a BI app and a conversion rate optimization software. So, as we just saw, that the sign-up process was relatively easy. Just go online, sign up for Google Analytics, get a tracking code to paste on your website. Shortly thereafter, relevant data becomes available, and this is your relevant data. When you sign up for the service, you will be asked about data sharing, which in this instance means you're sharing data with Google, not your coworkers with Google. And those actions are selected by default. Carefully read the terms. As I told you, note that opting out doesn't necessarily opt you out of sharing any of your data. Google clearly states if you disable this option, data can still flow to other Google products explicitly linked to analytics. You'll also be presented with a terms of service agreement as part of the sign-up process, and read it carefully. The primary thing to watch out for is the limit of 10 million hits per month per account, as any overages result in penalties that amount you to losing access to future data and current reports. And once you've signed up, the system will give you a tracking ID code to add to web page or mobile page you want to analyze. If you're using a third-party web hosting provider such as maybe GoDaddy, Wix, or WordPress, then you'll have to ask for instructions on how to set up Google Analytics on your website there. Google Analytics will also present you with additional sessions, settings, as well as Universal Analytics tracking code that you can elect to implement as dynamic content or PHP, but both are optional. You'll also be offered the free Google Tag Manager tool. Use it if you're using multiple analytics or ad performance tools that need site tags, as Tag Manager will allow you to quickly update tags and code snippets on different websites or mobile apps. But be forewarned, the tags are a drag on marketing campaign speed. To be safe, install the Google Tag Assistant Recordings tool to instantly check to see if your Google Analytics is working correctly on your website. You can also link to a search console to analyze search traffic to your website or mobile app and filter out activity within your organization that basically information doesn't warp your analysis. An important note to remember, however, is that the review is of the UI as of this review. Google says that Google Analytics will soon publish a UI update, so things will likely change, presumably for the better. Now, there are a lot of visualization options as well. First on the list is the free version of the Google Data Studio that you can integrate if you want to. Then the other option is the Microsoft Power BI, and obviously there's just much more that you can work around with. So if we were to talk about the bottom line is, due to its brand recognition and the fact that it's totally free, Google Analytics is the biggest name in website and mobile app intelligence. It has a very steep learning curve, as we have discussed, but it is an awesome business intelligence tool, and that is the end of my review and tutorial of Google Analytics 4. So if you liked what you saw and you liked what you heard, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions or queries related to this video, please let me know down in the comments and I will help you as soon as I can. And if you want to see more videos like this, please let me know that as well, and I will make more videos for you as soon as possible. But yeah, that was all for today's tutorial. I hope it was extremely informational, and I hope I did not leave anything out. If I did, please let me know and I will fill you in with the details. But yeah, that was all for today. That was about it. I will see you all next time, and I hope you all keep having a great day. That was all from me, and yeah, till next time. Goodbye.